Blackstone Audio presents Dance of the Thunderdogs by Kirk Mitchell. Chapter 1. This is a story I heard from my father and he from his father. It happened long ago, but they told me it's true. Half the year, Kingfisher made his home in a hole in the clay bank above Lake Lotonka. Like all kingfishers, he had a sharp bill, a swept-back crest, and a stubby tail that wouldn't weigh him down when he swam. Kingfisher flew south in the winter, but came back to Lotonka in spring, when the creeks ran swift and clear out of the Wichita Mountains, when the lake rose high behind its dam and fish dotted its surface. But one year, the lake didn't rise. Instead of building behind the dam, the waters gushed down Medicine Creek and went on their way to the ocean. Muskrat, salamander, and crawfish, who also depended on the lake to fill each summer, went to Kingfisher. Muskrat said, "Something's wrong with the dam, the waters won't rise, and how will we make our living if they don't?" Kingfisher told them he was worried about the same thing. Salamander suggested, "Nobody knows more about dams than Beaver. You should fly to him, Kingfisher, and ask him what's wrong." So Kingfisher flew over the mountains to where Beaver had built a dam of willow sticks along Sugar Creek just below the springs there. He told Beaver about the problem. Beaver scratched his long whiskers and said, "I know nothing about the dams human beings build, Kingfisher. Mine are made of sticks. Theirs are made of earth and stone. I'm sorry, but you are the better diver. You should go down and look for yourself to see what the trouble is." Kingfisher flew home and told the other animals what Beaver had said. Crawfish said, "Beaver is right, you should go." Kingfisher thought about this for a while, but only a very short while, for he too was very worried about the lake. As low as it was, Lotonka was too muddy to see the fish swimming, and if he couldn't hunt fish, he would starve. He agreed to dive to the bottom and have a look. He waited until the May sun was high and bright, for the shrunken waters of the lake were heavy and dark with silt. Then he sprang from the tree branch and plunged into the depths. Soon it was almost as dark as night, but Kingfisher kept darting down, holding his breath. Down and down he went all the way to the bottom, still holding his breath. There he found a cave that wound back into the murky heart of the dam, and inside this cave was a kind of iron gate. It was jammed open, letting out the waters into Medicine Creek, keeping the lake from filling as it should. Then Kingfisher could no longer hold his breath. He had to come back up. He burst to the surface, gasping in his raucous, clattering voice. "Are you all right, brother?" Muskrat asked. Kingfisher nodded. The other animals gathered around him on the shore and asked him what he had seen. As soon as he had breath, Kingfisher said, "I couldn't see much. The waters are like night, but something stuck in the water gate. What, I don't know." He promised to go down again the next day when the sun was at its highest again. But the next day, Kingfisher had no need of the sun's light. Reaching the bottom, he saw that human beings had gotten to the cave. 2 of them were swimming down there, with fires attached to their heads that lit up the water gate. The 2 could hold their breaths longer than any human beings Kingfisher had ever seen swimming in Lotonka before, even though much of their air leaked up from them in long streams of bubbles. It shocked Kingfisher to see what was lodged in the water gate, but then he himself was out of breath and had to rise. On the shore, the other animals asked what he had seen below. Kingfisher said, "There's a human being stuck in the iron jaws of the water gate. That is what keeps it from closing." Crawfish was not convinced. "Men are soft. They have no hard shell like I do. How can one keep the gate from shutting?" "This man is tied to a log," Kingfisher replied, "and it's this log